In the desert in Phoenix, Western Conference, round one, game two, and it goes to the Suns. They even up the series 1-1. Phoenix gets the win over the Clippers 123-109. Great effort all around by everyone with the Phoenix Suns. The starting five, everyone in double figures there. Booker leading the way, a game-high 38. KD at 25, Torrey Craig 17, 16 for Chris Paul. DeAndre Ayton as well, played very well for the Phoenix Suns. Ayton finishing with 14. Like I said, all five starters with the Phoenix Suns in double figures. The Claw, Kawhi Leonard 31, Russell Westbrook 28, and that was pretty much it. Not a lot of help to go along with Kawhi and Russell Westbrook. Suns get the win 123-109. This series is even, tied at 1-1 between the 4 seed and the 5 seed in the desert. All right, we'll welcome in our CBS Sports NBA insider, Bill Reiter. Good and kind enough to join us here live in studio here. And Bill, a good win here by the Phoenix Suns. Down 1-0 in this series, lost the first game, needed to win this game. KD played very well, and they exercised some demons as well, because you look at Chris Paul, lost 13 straight with Scott Foster refereeing, and also KD, first win he's had in a long time. He had lost 7 straight playoff games. How big of a win was this for Phoenix to stay in this series?
It's huge for 2 reasons. You're right. You do not want to go down 2-0 with that series heading back for a couple games to LA. I also just think, Larry, it's a new reality for this Suns team to have Kevin Durant, and they experience the highs of what it can mean when Kevin Durant and his new teammates are in rhythm together. Huge game from Devin Booker, I think, and so do people around the NBA. He's going to benefit more than anyone else from KD's arrival. But Larry said it, every single starter in double digits, and it just looked easy for this Suns organization, for this team, after they made that run at the end of the first half. Now, can they do it for 15 more games? Because 50 more wins get them a championship? We don't know, Larry, but they certainly showcased and reminded us how good they can be when things click with Kevin Durant a part of this group.
And you look at it, Chris Paul played very well. I know there was a lot of talk about the referee, Scott Foster, who got booed mercifully when he entered the arena there. But I wanted to focus here real quickly on just KD, the way he played, and Devin Booker. I thought he was the story there. The bench, you look at it, 30-13, Clippers running away with that. But it's the star power, the collective of the Suns. Is this how they're going to have to get this thing done? Not really worry about the bench. You got the stars. That's enough firepower?
Yeah, what bench? I mean, that right? We know this. Like, part of the reality is in order to get Kevin Durant, they had to send a lot of their depth away. Yeah. And the conventional wisdom in the postseason, it doesn't always play this way, but the conventional wisdom is you don't need depth as much in the playoffs as you do in an 82-game marathon. Your rotations are going to shorten up. You're going to go big minutes for your starters. Kevin Durant and Devin Booker both going to the 40-minute range each of the last 2 games. So you're right. It's going to be a huge opportunity for the Clippers to have that bench play, but it's just not something that tends to be significant in the postseason. And you said it, huge game from Devin Booker. Again, I think he's going to benefit more than anybody else, and everybody will, from Kevin Durant's arrival. And we know Durant's an all-time scorer, and we just saw the ease, you and I, Larry, were talking about this during the game, with which KD gets buckets in any situation. But he's also going to benefit from Booker over here and DeAndre Ayton over here and Chris Paul over here when they are in the right place together as a team, and that takes some time. Man, they are so good and so dangerous.
And we saw how good and dangerous they were. Down 13 late in the second quarter, make a big run to tie it up at halftime. And, of course, they win this game by 14. So it was a 27-point swing there with about 5 minutes left there in the second quarter. Let's spin this thing ahead forward. Thursday night, Game 3. It's going to be in L.A. They're at the crypt there. Clippers probably need this win. Suns definitely need this win. This feels like a long series. This feels like it's going back to Phoenix, tied at 2. What are you looking at going into Game 3?
Nothing would surprise me. I mean, I've covered enough of these series to know that anything can happen and teams can rattle off a couple wins in a row. But I'm with you. I think one of the takeaways from the first 2 games of the series is the Clippers from Game 1 in particular are good enough to win the series. And we knew Phoenix is good enough to win the series. We saw, again, the highs they can get to with KD and this group of guys when they start to find some rhythm together. Whether it goes back 2-2 or whether it doesn't, Larry, I think it's probably a long series. Both of these teams, and it really is a microcosm for the entire Western Conference. Anybody can win these opening round series except for maybe you Timberwolves, I'm sorry. And almost anybody other than you, I'm sorry, Minnesota, actually I think can make deep runs and maybe even come out of the Western Conference. It's historically wide open, and that's certainly true, I think, in this series. I'm with you. It's going to be a really hard-fought battle for one of these teams to win 4 games against the other.
It sure feels like there's going to be a split there in L.A. for Games 3 and 4. Series tied at 1. KD and Book combining for 63. Suns even up the series, man. I know you're going to enjoy the rest of this series. He is Bill Reiter, our CBS Sports NBA insider. Here's that series schedule coming up. Series tied at 1. Game 3 back at the Crypt, Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles. It'll be Thursday night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Game 4 also Saturday. That's in LA as well. And then the scene shifts back to Phoenix in the desert on April the 25th. Tied at 1, should be an interesting series here. That 4-5 matchup, always spicy there. Tied at 1, heading back to LA on Thursday night.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.